In a previous video, I talked about how we can make a fighter kite from a template, but we can also change that shape to make totally different kites in terms of their appearance and how they fly. And I used a very simple way to do that by making what I call a fat tail. See, here's a regular kite with a pointed trailing edge tail. Here's the nose. On this kite, it's the same kite, but here I have created some angles in the trailing edge. Now in this situation, what I did was I took the point where the leading edge of the nose area of the kite met the bow right here and drew a line parallel to the spine, 10 3/8 inches long, and used that point to then connect to the tail of the spine. So it has a angular shape to the trailing edge. Now, there are many, many different variations of this idea that could be done. And for example, here's another one. I made this one, I used the same point here where the leading edge of the nose meets the bow of the kite right here. Drew a vertical line or a line parallel to the spine that was 10 inches long. And then I drew a straight line from there to a point about 1.5 inches from the spine itself. And from there, I went directly to the tail of the spine. Now this is a peculiar shape also, and a little more radical, I guess I would say too. But when I fly this kite, and I have made it and flown it in both cases, both of these kites I've made and flown, and surprisingly, this kite, the one with the what I call fat tail on it, this kite flies beautifully. Now, it isn't as fast as the same kite that has a straight trailing edge. It's fast, but not quite as fast. But what it does is it performs beautifully with less wind. So if you're at the very edges of the window, or if you're near the ground where the air turbulence at the ground is different from above the ground, this kite has great stability and predictability, way better than a kite with, or the same kite with a straight trailing edge. Now this kite, on the other hand, also performs beautifully. It's fast and very predictable, which surprised me because there's quite a bit of sail area that's missing here. On this kite, there isn't very much added. Now here, if the straight line of the trailing edge were drawn, it would be a little bit shorter, a little smaller area, as you can see by the ruler, this area would not exist if the trailing edge were straight, but it isn't. So it adds a little more to the trailing edge, which slows the kite down a little bit, but also provides for some reason, a little added predictability in the most unstable minimum wind conditions. And this kite, on the other hand, if I were to compare it to the straight line of the trailing edge, which would be typical, it has very little added also, but it also has some taken away. So if I put the ruler here, you can see there's a little bit of area, about equal, taken away compared to the amount that's added. It's about equal. So the surface area of the sail isn't a lot different, but the shape is very different. And this kite flies, it's fast, it's quick responding, predictable, and I'm very pleased with the results. And frankly, surprised. Who knew? So this makes me think that experimenting with the trailing edge shape of a kite can produce surprisingly positive results. And I encourage you to experiment and to try your own ideas, or use these if you want, doesn't matter, to find out what kind of hidden benefits or hidden performance parameters your kite has simply by changing the trailing edge shape of the kite. And I hope this is helpful for you.